Stirring the coffee with chopsticks using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, coffee. Nice. Guatemalan. Welcome to Season 3 of the Daybreak Show. I like to do the first episodes live. I think for the past 3 seasons, I've done them live. And then I end up 120. It's about 120 episodes. That's a lot of episodes to do. And I'm glad you're all here with me live. It's rare that I do a live Daybreak Show. I do some live broadcasts since I started doing StreamYard. And being that I am my own production staff and everything, I think that StreamYard is a good app to use. I'm enjoying it. I've done many of my most recent interviews with StreamYard, so it's very user friendly for me. The only problem I have is that the phone, the camera on my phone does go in and out of focus, and I don't know how to lock that during an episode. So we'll work on that. I just got back from my 2-mile walk. It's pouring rain. I was holding a big golfing umbrella, checking some email with the other hand as I was walking. I have to rethink my morning walks. It was windy and rainy, and it was, long story short, I've been saying this for a long time. There's no such thing as bad weather. There's just being inappropriately dressed. I was not appropriately dressed. My sneakers right now are soaking wet, and from about the thighs on down, I'm wet. My running very wet. So, and I was fighting this umbrella in the wind. So I have to figure something out. I'm thinking a rain poncho. Any of you runners or walkers, all season runners or walkers, what do you do? I have a Gore-Tex jacket with a hood. I usually wear a baseball cap and then put a hood up over it, so at least I have the visor. So any advice would be, hey, thank you for all that are joining this morning. This is a live broadcast. This is not recorded. There will be no editing. So many do. In the past, I record it and then I edit it and then I upload it. So there's no graphics or anything going on today. It's just perfectly live. Mistakes and all. So any advice that you would have about what to wear, during a rainy walk, snowy walk, that thing. I'm going to have to wear my Morel hiking boots. They are waterproof. Today my sneakers are soaking wet, so I'll figure that out somehow, some way. All right. Hey, for some of you that are pipe smokers, some of you are. Now that the weather has been cooler for most people across the world, do you find yourself puffing on a different kind of tobacco? Naturally move towards English and Balkan blends and Orientals when the weather gets cool. For me, it just is more appropriate. It's kind of a nap. In the summertime, if I have a cigar, it's usually out on the back deck or outside. I don't like smoking cigars in a really enclosed place with ventilation. And then I just find myself moving away from cigars, although I do like an occasional good cigar in the wintertime. Excuse me. Got my shop rag. Actually, this is not just any shop rag. This is the Bearded Bastard shop rag from Bearded Bastard. They have different products, and they sent me a shop rag, so I like it. as a sneeze rag to the Sultan. But I find myself having less cigars and more pipes in the fall and winter. Let's get started here. It is a good day. I feel good. I feel strong since the last time you saw me. Eyes. Literally, I have new eyes. I had cataracts, which means that every time I looked at light, it looked like a star, had like things shooting out, starbursts. And you know that sensation that you get when you are, like when you're driving at night in the rain and all lights, there's this glare. Well, I had that all the time, whether I was driving or not. It had to be a rainy day. Excuse me, walking in the rain just brought this out of me. Pardon me. Now, see, this is the stuff that I would edit. What was I talking about? Oh, starbursts. And when I went to the eye doctor, they said, you have cataracts and they don't get better. There's no vitamin or supplement. And that's usually my first thing. Is there a vitamin I can take? Is there something I can do? There is nothing you can do about cataracts. So I scheduled the surgery and they said it was only going to get worse. So at 60 years old, I thought, okay, let me get it done now. That way I don't have to mess around with it later when my body might be weaker or more vulnerable. Do it while I'm strong. And I did it. They did one eye, and having eye surgery is weird. If you've ever had eye surgery, put your comments down below. I'd like to see that. What in the world, man? Stuff going into your eye, cutting and sucking stuff out. And then I had a lens replacement where they put a new lens, which means that my distance vision is perfect. I can see, drive, everything in the distance perfect, but I still need reading glasses. So that's different. Since I left you last, since the end of Daybreak show, oh, there's a possum outside, a little baby possum. And I don't think there's any food left out there. All the other guys must have got it. What a cute little guy that is. I rescue all the critters that are hurt. They find their way. Go figure, right? Injured critters with like 3 legs. They find their way here. But he's flipping the bowl over right now. That's too funny. They find their way to the deck. How do they do that? I don't know. I love animals. If I am sitting out there on a chair on the deck, deer, foxes, raccoons, possums, dogs, cats, birds, all come around me. Happens all. And I love nature. I love critters, and I think they know it. And that's why they're coming around. So I got new eyes. What else? I started a blog. I hope you've been reading my blog. It's here on YouTube. It's called Open to Marriage. I believe I have maybe 6 or entries at this point. They're quite long. It's a good read. It's going to be compiled into a book called Open to Marriage. I decided that after a 7-year journey of being single, that I am open to marriage. It's not easy, but I am decisive. I am marriage. So we'll see how that goes. Or I should say, I'm going to make it be a positive experience. Am I hell bent on being married? Hell no. Like, damn it, I'm going to get married no matter what. It's not like that. I'm open to marriage. I'm open to it. I changed my mind about me and marriage, and it's my decision. It's no one else's. And I'm not a guy that walks blindly into anything. I was married before I have 3 children. I will tell you this, the second time that you get married, you do it for different reasons than the first time. Take my word for it. Some of you have made that mistake 2 or 3 times, and I'm not condemning you. It's difficult. I will admit that. But I am taking precautions and proactively living my life that is more careful, positive, not careless, carefree, but I'm not paranoid, and I'm making good decisions based upon the things that I've taught you now for almost 5 years. How would it be for the Sultan to get married after he has taught you about the dangers of marriage and the dark side, of course? Well, you know what? It's time for the other side of the coin. And that is, it's okay to talk about marriage. And that's what we're going to do. Not going to be the theme of my show. It's not going to be the theme of my videos. It's something I am open to. So, good morning to everyone. It's a good day today. Today, some talk about the God pill. How many men are finding God? I see that in the men's community as a whole. But I invite you to consider this. Many men are returning to not finding God. These are men that were raised in the church, raised in a faithful environment by parents, and I want to I want to ask those that are calling this the God pill and commenting on people finding God to consider this. There are men who were men of faith. They were raised that way, who the reality is when you hang out with certain people, you act a certain way. And then you get to the point where you become them. You become like who you hang out with. That's one thing. And then there's the man who, and I was never a guy who remained completely strong about things. I wandered from the faith. And I want to make it personal. When I from the faith, it makes it sound like I wandered from a philosophy or a way of thinking. I wandered from God, a person. I literally wandered from God. I knew he was right there. I have returned to him. And that's what I'm talking about. Men returning to God. Sometimes it only takes a man seeing another man of faith speaking boldly about God for him to return to the Father, God the Father. So I will tell you, return to the Father if that's all within you. If not, it's not time. It's and I would never ever shame you for not doing that. There are people who would shame you for doing it. I'm not. I would welcome you, but it's not part of the elite men's club. When you return to God, you return to a life of service and devotion. And you've heard me talk about a life of contemplation and devotion. And I'm not talking about being a monk. I'm not a monk. Close to it. I might be what was it St. Francis called a lay monastic. Excuse me again. This problem with live broadcasts. I hope you don't mind or are offended at me blowing my nose on live camera here. I say that this would be considered a ministry of reconciliation. This is a ministry of reconciliation, a literally peacemaking between man and man. God provides the way to do that. Men being agents of reconciliation is a very high calling. Men together, men bringing a man to God. Agents of division should be avoided at all costs. So be careful of those that are dividing the area of life, not just with areas of faith. So that's just something to think about. I have a letter from a gentleman who has CP, cerebral palsy. So my coach friend let me share this with you without revealing his identity. And I want to hear what your comments are about this gentleman. There's a bit of shame in my life which stems from physically not being able to drive because of my disability. I know I'm leveling up in life. It crushes me every. And this is a young man. I believe he's in his 20s or 30s. I know I'm leveling up in my life, but it crushes me every time I see a beautiful woman I would love to go out with. the driving thing gets in the way. Yes, Uber is awesome, but I can't afford it as much. I've been rejected in the past because of this, and I offer, if I'll ever meet a woman who could see past my not being able to drive. Now, remember, he's got cerebral palsy, so he's unable to drive. He says, "What wisdom would you have in this?" Boy, that touched my heart. And I have some ideas, but what would be your ideas? Here is a man who's certainly able to do almost everything else in life, but he has CP, cerebral palsy, also known to many as a disability. Obviously, he doesn't think he has a let me put it this way. The people who have disabilities don't like being called disabled. They need the adaptive instruments and ramps and various things in houses and sometimes different kinds of vehicles. But there's times where they can't drive, but and they might control over their bodies the way you and I have control over their bodies. And they don't want pity. They do not want pity. They want to be, I've heard people call them other abled. That's kind of an ass kissing way of describing things. Or I don't, you've heard other euphemisms for disability, what it is. So here's a man writing me who is a subscriber saying, I want to go out with women, but I can't drive. What do I do? Your thoughts are appreciated in the comments down below. I will be reading them after, and then I'm sure he will be reading them. So thank you for contributing to that. That's your way of contributing. I am a conservative, patriarchy embracing male who is also an artist, a writer, and a lover of esoterica. It's a shame that liberals who like the same thing have to be such shitheads and prejudge me based upon my beliefs. It's a shame. People turn me down because they say, oh, you're a Trump voter. People don't want to talk to me. I've had women just don't want to talk to me because I'm a Trump voter. Let me say this. I've had Christians not want to talk to me because I am this or that, or I curse, or I do want to give a big giant middle finger to everyone who acts like that. And I want nothing to do with you. I will make it clear. You are not interested in me because of the choices that I make, because you're better than me or we're different. You can't be in my life. I have no use for you, so you must leave. Simple as that. There's the door. Go. Thank you. A dish made with love tastes better than a commercially prepared mass quantity of the same dish. After being on the road for many, many years, I would think I can't wait to get home and have a home cooked meal. Why is that? Have an expense account that where I could get any food I want in any restaurant. Why am I longing to get home cooked meal? Why was that? Because it's made with love. Now, does something biochemical or metaphysical to food that is made with love? Maybe, maybe. Is a sandwich by a cook who's making 100 sandwiches an hour the same as a sandwich made by my wife who loves me, not me, wants me to be healthy? Are those two sandwiches the same? I'd say, yeah, both have bread, both have meat, both have mayo, both have lettuce and tomato on them. Both are cut the same. I feel that food that is made with love, there is a transfer at the molecular level and level. I do not believe that inanimate objects have spirits. I don't believe that. That is, some people believe that. But why is it that food made with love tastes better? And I tend to think it's better for you than prepared commercial food. Many men write me and say, "You're the father that I never had." Heck, I'm the father that I never had. Lesson, no matter who you are, provide what you never received. It will probably be good. Are you a woman who did not have a good father or a good mother? Be the good mother. Be the good. Are you a man who didn't have a good relationship with your father? Well, guess what? When you have kids, be the man that has a good relationship with kids. If you don't have children, then when it comes to younger men, don't try to fit in and be cool with younger men. Youth looks great on young people. It doesn't, or I should say, acting young looks good on young people. Now, I'm youthful, able, but I'm not a kid. I'm not immature. So for me at 60 to act like I'm 25, that looks pretty stupid. 25-year-old men look up to me and they have a certain expectation of behavior when they look at a 60-year-old man. There's nothing like a man in his 50s acting like a young bro. Grow up, act your age. Wherever you are, there's someone younger than you that you need to be like a brother or like a son, like a sister or like a daughter, wherever you are. And then ones that are older, they are not, you treat them like a father. It just makes for a really magnificent life. It really does. Someone writes me and says, "Any advice on getting my wife back?" Don't get me going on that one. Let me have some before I answer that question. She's gone, bro. She's gone. Get you back. Forget the flowers. Forget the poetry. Forget the cards. Forget the voicemails, the reminiscing, and the promises to change. I swear, I'll change. Mm-mm. I know it's hard to hear these things, but you will be okay. You will be fine because it takes time. If you need to email me for a little support, then do so at gb@george. But when you break up, your role is to get you back, not to get the other person back. Keep that in mind. In 1976, you went to Jack in the Box at 2 a.m. in the morning. You put out the headlights as you rolled into her driveway, hoping that her father wasn't, you didn't wake him up. You turned the lights out before you even hit the driveway. And you looked at the house. And if you go on at 2 a.m., you knew it was time to give her a kiss, say goodnight, and get home. When I believed in something and was a customer of that thing, my closing and conversion rate was 9 out of 10. It's effortless, and I never felt like I was selling. I hate being sold. I can't stand when people try to sell me. Just fan of that thing and having product knowledge, knowing it inside and out, and then having a few strategies of leading a person to buying is all you need. It's a natural and not a forced enthusiasm. Some people call sales nothing but a trade enthusiasm. And then you learn how to walk people towards making a commitment. When I acted like a consultant or an expert and less like a guy trying to get you to sign on the dotted line, guess what? My results improved. What a beautiful thing. For those of you that are in sales or considering sales, you need to know this, that salesmen are the richest people in the world. Nobody makes more money than salespeople. Nobody. You want to make a lot of money and you want to make it fast where you don't need a degree? Get some sales training and start selling. Now, does it help to like the product that you're selling? Sure, because you'll be able to speak about it more naturally. Love says good night, I love you. Lust says goodbye, I'll see you around. I'll see you when I see you. I've done that for a long time in my life, lived led around by lust and not by love. And I gave up that world, and it feels good to be seeking to give love and receive love as opposed to just lusting over things. And I'm going to be bold and see about things like that. I'm not a huge fan of the love languages, the five love languages. As a majorly guiding factor when dealing with people, it seems more like feminine pops to me. However, it could be a good primer to jumpstart dialogue while doing a task together. The book called The Five Love. The five languages are words of affirmation because actions don't always speak louder. In other words, you might say, I love you, and here's why I love you. There's a lot of I love you going on, or love ya, but why? I love you because you're a compassionate person. I love you because you are thoughtful. Number two, quality time with the other person. TV off, fork down. You are a priority. It's hard to have a discussion with the person you love when the TV's running. Can you imagine sitting down at the kitchen table like this? Here we are in the cozy nook. This is just like a little out area in my kitchen. There's the back deck right there, a sliding glass door right there, two windows right here. Sitting down with someone that I love and talking about the relationship, talking about things. No TV on, not talking over eating, just having a discussion. When was the last time you had a discussion with somebody facing them? No driving and the person's over here looking in the same direction, looking at each other. Like I'm looking at you right now, telling you, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I do. Here's why. Because you show up. You're faithful. You help me. You're appreciative. You have a gratitude about the Daybreak show and the things that I provide. I like that. It makes me feel like I am doing something that's going to last and not just make you laugh or make you angry or prove a point. Number three, giving gifts, the thoughts and the effort behind the gift. There's people who just literally will just buy something to appease somebody. You know, the guy that just always buys flowers for his wife. Oh, I got you some flowers. Are they her favorite flowers? Did you pick the color? Did you pick the type of flower? And I know a lot of guys are like, there you go, making your life revolve around women. I'm not doing that. I'm talking about being considerate. There's a difference between being a nice guy and being a considerate guy. Never for a woman. I hold doors for everybody. Man, woman, young, old, black, white, and purple. Doesn't matter to me. If I'm walking towards a door at a store, a convenience store, at the gas station, I walk a little bit faster. I'm the guy that walks ahead of you to grab the door so you can go in. And I say, have a good day. Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure. Have a great day. I'm that guy. That's a considerate guy. That's not a nice guy. Nice guys get walked on. Nice guys get used. Nice guys get taken advantage of. Considerate guys get joy from serving people, but they don't get walked on. Big difference. 4, acts of service. Let me do that for you. 5, physical touch. Hugs, pats, touches, a kiss without sex makes for a great loving all the time. Think about it. Can you imagine going up to your wife and you kiss her on the back of her neck and she says to you, I'm not in the mood tonight, honey. only because that only meant that every time you kiss her on the back of the neck, you want to have sex with her. Can you imagine not having a relationship like that, where the kiss on the back of the neck and your arms around her waist do not mean that you want to have sex? Maybe it just means you love her and that you make her feel. Doesn't it feel good to have someone just come up and hug you, kiss you for no reason, with no expectation of anything? That's a shift in mindset in relationships and marriage that can make that marriage go up a few notches without you even trying. The 5 love languages. For those of you that are a little bit older, let's talk about aging with grace. It's lines on your face, and I have a few now. It's about the wisdom behind the lines on the face. It's not about the white hair. It's about the wisdom behind the white hair. Do not lament or feel bad about the passing of years. Celebrate everything that you achieved. Celebrate even the times where you didn't achieve anything. You made it. You're here. You, you earned for your benefit, the benefit of others. Aging is a beautiful thing no matter who you are. Be the best that you can be. I'm 6 years old. I'm pretty strong. I'm pretty fast. I feel good. I'm still attracting women half my age. That is not an issue. But I am honoring my age. I'm not lamenting the passing of the years. What I'm looking at, what I'm excited about is the system that I have. You can have 1 year, you can have 10 years of experience or 1 year of experience 10 times. Growth happens when you learn from life. Do you keep making the same mistakes over again? Do you keep meeting the same women, that the same type of women that just keep breaking your heart over and over, and then you end up saying all women are like that or all men are like that? Ladies, it's time to grow, but you can't grow until you grow up. And finally, in 1950, age of 65, when most people are thinking of retiring and slowing down, there was a man named Colonel Harlan Sanders. He started a company called Fried Chicken in 1952 at 65 years old. He died at 90. Even after his death, his foundation supports children's hospitals. He's still giving, but he started at 65. The KC that was started by a man in 1952 when he was 65 years old. Holy cow. Amazing. It's never too late, and you have way too many excuses. Hey, thanks for joining me on episode 1, season 3 of the Daybreak show. My Lord, season 3. We hung in there. How fun was this? So it'll be this time morning after my 2-mile walk. And if you know of a way that I can walk easier in the rain, whether it be a pond or I don't know, I got to figure out how to do this, because I don't want to have to take a break every. Maybe I might have to, I don't know, and just do some calisthenics or something in the morning. But I am up at 4 a.m. every day, regardless. Do the Daybreak show. Upload this, take a shower, get ready, and I go to work. And I go to a job that I have to be at by 7 o'clock, and I work till 3, and I do that 3 days a week. And then the 2 other days a week, I'm cutting hair. And then the other days, I'm working 100% of my social media. So until tomorrow, finish your coffee, and I'll see you tomorrow on the Daybreak show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason.